Check 1, 2. Check 1, check 2. We're live. We're live. We're live. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Da da da. Let's ring the gong. Ring the gong. Ring the gong. Oh, ring the gong. Morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the program. Today is March 7 in the year 2023. 2023, we all made it. Breaking news, breaking video news. You remember January 6, 2021 or 2020, whenever it was, a long time ago, when a bunch of dedicated citizens of this country felt like they saw election fraud and election, shenanigans right in front of their face. And they disbelieved the results of what they were seeing. They just couldn't believe it based on the evidence on the ground, again, shenanigans. So they decided to leave a Donald Trump rally and head over to the Capitol. And for that, some people got unruly, but for the most part, so a huge crowd was able to peacefully enter the Capitol building. And I guess the mainstream media has been pumping the idea that it was an insurrection. Right? We had a whole committee, the January 6th committee to try American citizens who protested the election, try them as criminals. And it's not ironic, but here's the lead character. Remember this guy? What was his name? Forgot his name. His name is Jacob Chansley. Jacob Chansley. Remember Jacob Chansley with the spikes on his head? He was the big insurrectionist. Well, it turns out Tucker Carlson was awarded a bunch of videos of the January 6th surveillance of the Capitol. Tucker Carlson and Fox News has gone through it, and the video shows clearly and unequivocally that this guy, Jacob Chansley, who is now sitting in prison for 4 years for being a domestic terrorist and mounting an insurrection, was escorted by the police. They were like, hey, where do you want to go? And they walked behind him. They helped him open doors. So as I said years ago, I guess, the nation has been bamboozled many, many times. And the stories are not always what they appear to be. There's always a logical explanation and an illogical response. So the liberal left did a great job. I guess the liberal left, the people who at one time in 2016 said that the elections were rigged. And then in 2020, when Trump lost, they said, no, the elections are fair. All right, those same people are the ones that got behind throwing Jacob Chansley in jail for insurrection. All right, so it is partisan justice. Right? Is this guy any worse than what Antifa did 2 nights ago, where they burned down a new police facility because they didn't like it? Antifa did that 2 nights ago. Still doing it. Still burning stuff down to the ground. Throwing fireworks and Molotov cocktail bombs at police officers. Right now they're doing it. Well, they did it a few days ago. 30 some odd domestic terrorists charged in Atlanta for interfering with some sort of police activity. But Jacob Chansley was put on a costume, and he left a Trump rally and peacefully entered through a door that was open, they still don't know exactly how he got into the building, but it doesn't matter. Somehow he got into the building, and there were, tens of thousands of people outside ready to storm the Capitol. So the Capitol Police were very cordial because they knew they were outnumbered, basically. And they let guys like Jacob in, and they gave him a tour, and nobody broke anything once inside. Very respectful, very in awe of the Capitol that they had were in, and were revered it. Saw themselves as people there to correct the system. Right? They believe in the system. Jacob Chansley, in my opinion, I guess are we allowed to opinions anymore? So anyway, is he a fucking Sonny breaks? You are talking down to your audience. Of course, everyone knows that. Well, relax, Sonny. Everybody doesn't know that. If everybody knew that, then we wouldn't have the problems we have. We have, people that want to. I don't know, but anyway, just learn how to listen. Learn how to listen. It's early in the morning. It's Tuesday. We're all on the same team. We're all on the same team, man. I love when the angry group arrives. Welcome, angry group, Sonny the angry man, angry young man. But again, we're all on the same team, and not everybody knows. More than half the country believes that Jacob Chansley was a bad guy, and the release of the video to Tucker Carlson now confirms that he wasn't a bad guy, that he actually followed the direction of the police, and they guided him into the Senate floor. Right? And the only real casualty of that day, in my opinion, one cop got hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. That wasn't nice, but that's police work. But the girl, Ashley Babbitt, remember, got shot in the face. She got shot in the face for crawling through a window by a cop. So I think that was the most tragic event of the day was Ashley Babbitt getting shot in the face. In my opinion. So anyway, so there you go. There he is. My name is Mark Sconti. I got a website every morning, 9 a.m. live. Good morning in the chat. Weeble Girl in the house. Mad Cow Mark, Jim Gerard, William Smith is here. Sonny Sonny Breaks is here. Fear Porn, what's up, man? Fear Porn in the house. So I have a site every morning at 9 a.m. We are live. Tuesday, today is Tuesday, and we do a Dharma gathering tonight at 7 p.m. Be there, be square. 90-day meditation challenge to calm down your goddamn mind. The challenge that you do on a daily basis, 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes a day, and you meditate, and something miraculous, mysterious, magical, transformative happens in your life, and you don't even know when it happens. You're sitting there meditating, waiting for something to happen, and you can't really detect it. But one day you're walking around, and you realize, like, wow, something really happened, and I don't know when it happened, but it happened. That's how garbage falls away. That's how garbage fertilizes. You don't know exactly when it happens. For example, if you're meditating and you see fear and you say, well, I wish I can get rid of this fear. And, it's still there. But one day you realize, hey, man, that fear is gone. Where did it go? Or you get an injury, right? You get a running injury or something, and you work to get rid of that injury, but it still hurts. But one day you notice it's not there. Right? That's how meditation is. It's just a lot of the dilemma that, psychological dilemmas that we have, they vanish, they dissolve. Other ones pop up, but the old ones dissolve, and it's called transformation. You're transforming to a different perspective. So every morning at 9 a.m., every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., tonight at 7 p.m. we do the Dharma gathering based on the teachings of the Buddha. I hope you'll join me. And Zelle, the great Zelle. This is how we fund the program. You can Zelle money to shorthappylife@gmail.com. And anywhere from $1 to $1 million. We're accepting anywhere from $1 to $1 million. If you're in the league of Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, consider a large contribution, a game changer for this reporter. It is sunny and beautiful outside. It's a little cold in northeast Pennsylvania here. But the sun is out. The sun is out. Look at that beautiful sun. Snow on the ground. Sun is out. So let's dive in. So here's the report. January 6 footage shows Capitol cops escorting QAnon shaman to the Senate floor. There he is, right? There he is. So we're going to watch the Tucker Carlson clip. Tucker Carlson put up 5 minutes of bliss. Fantastic. And we'll watch that. Newly revealed surveillance footage from January 6, 2021 shows 2 Capitol Police officers escorting Jacob Chansley, the behorned so-called QAnon shaman. I don't know why he got coined the QAnon shaman, who has come to symbolize the riot through the halls of the Capitol and to the very door of the U.S. Senate. He got an escort from the cops. You're going to see it in the video. The footage aired on Tucker Carlson's Fox News show Monday night. That was last night. The officers closely following Chansley as he wanders the corridors of the Capitol, bare-chested and wearing face paint and a luxuriant fur hat with Viking horns. So virtually every moment was caught on tape. Let's watch the video as Tucker Carlson reports. 5 minutes.
These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that. But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th.
What is he picking?
40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why.
Look at the size of that crowd. That's why the police didn't do anything.
Public.
Look at the size of that crowd. That's why the police laid down, because of the crowd size. Always remember that, right? The police will do a calculation. They'll say, okay, well, we can round up 20 or 30 people, but if we're only 100 cops and there's 10,000 people outside, we have to let them do what they're going to do, or they're going to kill us. Or they're going to overthrow us. We can't overthrow them. But look at the crowd size.
And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the...
Oh, interesting. Colossal Bigfoot says this just gives ammunition to keep the argument going. I respectfully disagree with that. I think that, again, the facts are Jacob Chansley is sitting in jail for something that he said, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I broke in and all that. But the guy's sitting in jail. If that, I mean, the point is to try to get these guys, the people that were involved in this, out of prison for doing this. For what does it say about democracy? Isn't this what democracy looks like? Showing up in the Capitol steps. I don't think it gives ammunition to the argument that it was an insurgence. I think it gives ammunition to the argument that a half of the political spectrum, mostly the liberal Democrats, wanted to see this happen. They systematically rigged the data and footage that people saw, and that's what people were allowed to see. They didn't see this side of it. So anyway,
the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands.
So far, the only thing that I see people guilty of is breaking a window, right? And for that, there's restitution for harm done. You pay for the window that you broke.
Over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism.
That's always the case in these types of things. There's maybe a 3 to 5% hooligan element.
You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat...
That's interesting. People in the chat are saying that I'm off on this. I disagree. I think that you have to talk about it, again, because of the historical view of this. You remember, there's a lot of people that if when you say Trump, they say, oh, he tried to overthrow the government on January 6th. Didn't you see the videos? I mean, that's carved in stone in many people's skulls. So I think to disregard the conversation at this point that's not, who is that serving? Who does that serve? Well, you bring it up and you have 40,000 hours. Fox News went through 40,000 hours of video, and this is what they found. They found very peaceful, respectful people inside the Capitol. Show those images. Show those images to the same jackoffs that thought it was an insurrection.
Little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. They believe the election was stolen. No left, no right. They believe that the people that showed up at the steps of Congress believed that the election was stolen from them. They believed in the system. That's why they were there. They're the same people that rallied for the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter. Same people, not same people, but same inherent cause. Yes, my friends, there is always going to be a left-right paradigm, right? And to talk about, it's interesting, to talk about it is not necessarily being left or right. Is Marcus Conte reporting it from a right perspective? Well, I'm reporting it from the fact that there are many riots and many protests in America, and have been since the pandemic or during the pandemic. Many, many, many riots. 90% appear to come from the left, the Antifa, Black Lives Matter arena. Very few are on the other side, right? And yes, there is a left-right paradigm, but you have to look at the severity of how these people are treated when, I guess, brought to justice. Why are the left, allowed to, there's a revolving door, and somehow, there's politicians in government that look at it as heroic. Oh, look how heroic they were. They stopped the, they stopped the police facility from being built. They burned it, right? But when your election is challenged, why oh my God, they came into the Senate. I think these are valid arguments. I don't think that they're distractions at all. So I support Tucker Carlson for doing this. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
All right, they had a permit. You heard? They had a permit to be there. There's nothing illegal about anything Trump said or what happened.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the.
I think the point is. And I respect the pushback in the chat. I think the point is sometimes you have to retell the story. You have to retell the story based on new details. Right? You can't tell it the old way anymore. If you keep allowing people to tell a story about how bad one half of the country treated the other half and tried to overthrow their government to install their new government, I think you flop. Right? When you talk about it, you say, well, where exactly was the insurrection? They broke a few windows so far. I don't see anything else.
Heard broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman.
QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison.
4 years in prison. Wait a second. Now I'm angry. This guy sat in prison, is sitting in prison right now for what? Entering an open door, being escorted by police into the chambers of the Senate and asked to politely leave, and then did leave after an hour or so. Right? Insurrection? 4 years in prison? I don't. You got that's a you don't. This is not a story you want to bury. This is something you want to talk about. You want this guy to walk out the fucking door of the prison, and land on late night television talking about it. That's where you want him to go.
Far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the
this is the video. This is the actual video. This is no longer speculation. This is what happened inside when he was inside, how he was treated, what he did when he was inside. Camera on him the whole time.
Internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley.
Does this look like a dangerous guy, an insurrectionist? Or the police are so smart. They're just playing, they know there's too many people outside, so they got to lure this guy into the Senate where they're going to lock them all up. That's bullshit. That's what you're seeing with your own eyes is people pushing into the Capitol to make their voices heard. And this guy is being given a fucking tour, literally a escort, a police escort to the Senate chamber.
Not one of them even tried to slow him down.
Nope.
Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
So he thanks the officers for allowing him into the building. Look, there's people praying. Look how dangerous they are. They're praying inside of the Senate chamber. If it was Antifa, they'd be burning the place down, as you're going to see. They burn shit, right? No burning, no breaking, no smashing. Respectful people inside the chamber.
Ask the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
How did the reporters get in? How did that reporter get in? Shouldn't the reporter be the... I've been in that situation where I don't care where you are or who you think you are. If you got a press pass around your neck, the police will round you up and put a foot in your fucking stomach just as fast as anybody else. Until, it takes a while for them to realize, hey, I'm press. Let me, let me up. And they let you up.
He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him.
Shoot him.
Shoot him. Like, you burst in.
Isn't that inciting violence? Some jerk off on fucking late night television saying shoot the guy without any evidence. It's sad what's happening. These are common occurrences in America, but it's how it's reported. It's what perspective you're looking for, looking at it from. A radical left perspective, a defiant right perspective. What about looking at it from the middle and looking at the evidence as it unfolds? We now have new evidence in this case. And that guy, Jacob Chansley, needs to be let the fuck out of jail.
Into the United States. If he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him! Shoot him! It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell.
Yep.
He's been there for months.
Months. He's been in a jail cell for months. A heroic, charismatic, costume-wearing protester that was at the front of one of the greatest rallies in American history, in my opinion, where Americans finally stood up, regardless of the side of the aisle, where Americans finally stood up and not protested in downtown Manhattan and broke windows, but they took it right to the Senate floor, where they're supposed to go. That's where laws are made. They took it right to the right place. Finally, that election fraud in this country may, in fact, be real.
Was, in fact, committing such a grave crime. Why didn't the officers who were standing right next to him place him under arrest?
Why?
Until now, no one could even prove that even happened. But it did.
It did happen. There it is. Powerful Tucker Carlson knocking the skin off the ball. So these are just some more images of the incident. Now that we've seen the actual video of what Jacob Chansley is guilty of, which is walking through an open door and peacefully making his way to the Senate floor, where he gave a resonating speech on God and thanked the officers for their love. It's a shame, It's a shame. What else can we learn about this? I think there's going to be more video as it. Also, this is what Jacob looks like right now. Should be a GoFundMe to get this guy out of jail. I don't know why. I guess it was preliminary, but Trump didn't pardon him. Somebody needs to get this guy out of jail. In Virginia, maybe a Virginia judge can commute the governor of Virginia. I guess, I don't know, can commute him. So he's in a Virginia jail, and he was on, this is something that people don't know about what happened. He was on a 9-day starvation diet because they wouldn't feed him his diet, organic food. Now, so he's not really a right-wingist. I got news for you, right-wing people in the chat that are watching, ready to shoot a fucking arrow at me, like shoot a fucking arrow through my heart for speaking. But he was also a lefty. Isn't organic food something of the left? Don't people on the left take care of themselves with organic food, and the people on the right eat fast food? Isn't that a something that makes you left or right? Right. That's the dilemma, kids. I'm telling you, that's the dilemma. The dilemma is left and right, but what is he? Is he left or right? He looks like if I had to see him, he looks like a leftist. He looks like he has creative blood, and you know, he's eating organically and exercises and takes care of himself. What a fraud! He's really look at this guy with a beard. People on the right don't have beards and long hair. Come on, man. These guys are fucking imposters. American flags. He's only waving the American flag because he's a lefty who wants to be on the right. And once he's in the Capitol, he's gonna put up his Antifa flag. Chansley lost 20 pounds since being transferred from Arizona to Washington last week. So he was on a heavy-duty fucking starvation diet. They finally fed him his organic food. That's good news. That's good news. What else can we find out? Capitol cops say they couldn't get physical with rioters. Well, again, I gave you the reason why. They couldn't get physical because they were grossly outnumbered, viciously and violently, not violently, but enormously outnumbered by thousands of people outside of the Capitol. They didn't have the manpower to restrain, so they just did the next best thing, which is just let it pass through. Right? Let them do what they're going to do. Did they break anything? It turns out that all they wanted to do was show up. Right? So the story now, if you ask me, now spins into free Jacob Chansley. I mean, Jacob Chansley is Julian Assange. Jacob Chansley is unwittingly the face of democracy. Right? In 20 years, you'll look back and you'll say this guy was a great American hero, whether he knew it or not. He showed up. He was wrongly convicted by your government, a leftist coup, the AOC crowd. Right? And then he was freed by Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy had him freed by releasing the actual surveillance video of January 6th to Fox News, and he was free to walk. Right? That's how I want to see the story. That's what I do. Right? You call that spin? That's not spin. That's revealing the truth. That's what actually happened, right? Based on the evidence. Right? Where's the evidence of the counter? Where's the evidence of a insurgents? It's only an insurgents if you believe the garbage that Biden somehow got 80 million votes, but couldn't put 100 people in a room to talk to, where Trump was filling up stadiums. If you believe those lies, which they appear to be, or they clearly need investigation, then I don't know. I feel sorry for you. But anyway, there's Jacob. And hooting and hollering. I don't know. Is he a lefty? Is he a righty? Is he on the right? Is he a guy who, I don't know, the organic food thing's got me going, man. Organic food means lefty. Right? So meanwhile, while that's happening, and evidence is now hitting the mainstream that the January 6th thing was really a show. From the left, a choreographed video splicing together of the most, heinous parts of the rally, deleting the other 90% that was peaceful and loving. Right? But meanwhile, attorney among 23 charged with domestic terrorism in Atlantic cop attack. So while that's happening, there's very little on mainstream media right now. Is the paradigm changing? Are we now shifting to the left, people? Are we only allowed to, are we talking left and right? Or are we talking incidences that are happening in our country where political perspective is narrating judicial outcome, right? It's politics. Right? It's politics. Right? So what happened here? Let's look at the video and see what happened.
Filing your tax return is.
So here we go. We got burned. Looks like a burned tractor trailer. Whatever it is, fucking bulldozer. And look, they broke things. They broke lights. They burned stuff. Knocked some things over. There was another. There's other riot videos. Let's watch the riot videos. There's the riot videos. So these. Where's the riot videos? Oh yeah, here. Let's watch ABC spin it in a loving way. They're going to spin it in a loving way. Now, again, if these were people on the right who mainstream media dislikes because of their political enemies, Republicans, they get their money from the Democrats. So if it were the other way around, they wouldn't be. They would be talking about this as a really, really bad thing. But watch how Chris Kanopoulos, whatever his name is, spins it. Let's listen.
In Atlanta, it erupted outside a police training facility with explosives and Molotov cocktails thrown at officers. Steve Osunsami is in Atlanta with the latest. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, George. This is the Defend the Atlanta Forest movement, and they have events scheduled all week. They're mostly environmentalists who've been trying to save a wooded area and have argued that the new training center would militarize police. Police in Georgia this morning say they were attacked in a violent protest at the construction site of the new Atlanta Public.
They say they were attacked. The video evidence supports that the cops were attacked. Maybe you need to watch it again.
Police in Georgia this morning say
they're getting fucking shot at with fireworks. Right? You're shooting at police officers.
They were attacked in a violent protest at the construction site of the new Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. They say protesters who had just left a nearby music festival threw.
What was the music festival that they left in Atlanta, I wonder?
Explosives and Molotov cocktails at police officers and set equipment on fire.
This was a very violent attack that occurred this evening. Very violent attack. And this wasn't about a public safety training center. This was about anarchy, and this was about the attempt to destabilize.
Authorities.
Anarchy and an effort to destabilize, says the police. Or was it? You know, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Did they converge on this police facility? Yes. Did they violently attack police with fireworks and Molotov cocktail bombs? Yes. Why did they do it? I don't know. Are we going to call them terrorists, or let's find out why they did it.
They say there were more than 100 people and that this was a coordinated attack on officers and equipment.
It's not. It's really not. See, again, I take issue with that. It's not really coordinated. You see how one thing leads to the other. With the January 6th thing, there was a raucous rally down the block for Donald Trump, who believed in his heart that the election was stolen from him. And here you have people at a rock concert that believe the police are the root of all evil in America. Right? They believe it. There's many, many people that believe if you destabilize and demilitarize the police, you move towards a freer country. That's the messaging behind Antifa. It's not entirely wrong. It's not entirely off. It's how you go about doing it, I guess. So pick left or right. Are we looking at the left now, I guess?
During that attack on the officers, pieces of equipment and other items that were at the location for the construction of the Public Safety Training Center were damaged.
Police are seen chasing down people in the woods using stun guns to stop the protesters. Police arrested more than 24. Atlanta's police chief says what happened was not a legitimate protest and that many of those arrested were not from Georgia.
When you throw commercial grade fireworks, when you throw Molotov cocktails, large rocks, a number of items at officers, your only intent is to harm. And the charges are going to show that tonight when we make the appropriate charges.
That's very true. You're going to charge them for what they did. Look at everything's burning. They set shit on fire, right? With Molotov cocktails. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a bottle full of gasoline and a rag sticking out the top. And you set it on fire and throw it. It's a fucking bomb. It's a fire bomb.
This is the latest in a series of clashes with police. In January, a demonstrator was shot to death by a police officer in one of those clashes. But I have to point out that
now it's just a clash with police officers because they had a difference of opinion. But on January 6th, no such award was given. Instead, they were deadly terrorists trying to overthrow the government. See how it's clear. I mean, this is ABC reporting.
that this new police center was approved by both Republicans, Democrats across the city and state, white, black, and brown. Michael?
All right, thank you so much for that, Steve.
Hi, everyone. George.
Thanks, George. Thanks, George, for the report. Let's end on a good note. So tonight, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I have to. It occurs to me that this is what I do. I wake up. I don't have any research team. I don't have I'm not Tim Pool who eats, breathes, and lives the news. I don't do that. I live my life. When this show is over, I'll pretty much not look at the news all day, and then I get up very early and I look at it, and then I make I cast an opinion based on what I see. Now, in the old days, I used to go out into the rally, into the world, so to speak, and report on what I saw there. But right now, this is what I have. This is what I do, and I don't know what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is, you're watching one person's sort of educated opinion on what we're seeing, and I respectfully hear what you're saying, that there's a left-right dilemma. But where I would disagree is that talking about situations like this is not bad, is not overkill, is not rekindling the fire. Right? Whether you want to say, okay, well, there's other elements of the January 6th thing that you're not, talking about. Maybe the FBI orchestrated the whole thing. Well, maybe they did. A lot of the rallies in downtown Manhattan and Seattle were orchestrated at the very tip, the very top of the demonstration, at the head of the demonstration. A lot of that was clearly infiltrated by military. That's who started it. But those are side points. What happens after the fact? The point is that people are pissed off. They're pissed off about the police killing innocent black men in the street. They're pissed off about elections not being fair. Boxes of ballots ending up in the garbage, or hundreds of thousands of voters being purged off the rolls so their voices are quieted. Canceling exit polling all over the country. Elections being off by more than, in some cases 10%, 12%, based on the exit polling. Those are the types of things that piss people off. It pisses me off, but I try not to get worked up about it. I see it, and now we have an opportunity to talk about it. Was the reason for the January 6th people to show up valid? Was it a valid reason that they felt that there were poor elections aren't representative of what the outcome is in America? Was that a legitimate argument? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is Antifa's argument that the police have overextended themselves in many respects in this country, have become militarized and disregarding the rights of humans? Absolutely. Those are absolutely both valid arguments. Right? But you can't view it as left or right. You got to view it from the middle and say, well, this is what's happening. This is what these people are saying and doing. And these other people are saying and doing this as well. They're all saying and doing something. And the object is to be in the middle of it and stop having a strong opinion of it, of what you think happened. Let's look at what actually happened, like in this case right here. I just had a birthday, and now I'm approaching my high 50s, and I have an interest in living to at least 100. I want to live to 100 years old, and so I stumbled on this video. Here is a 97-year-old woman who reveals the secrets of youth. Now, if you don't believe it, this is the
She entered the Guinness Book of
Watch this lady. Look at this. She's 97 years old. You think you could do that at 97? She's a gymnast. Is it real? I don't know what the hell this is, dominoes, but I'm trying.
Joanna is just not such a case. This woman was born on November 20, 1925.
Amazing.
And many young people will envy her athletic abilities. Is it possible to learn something from this woman from Germany? The answer is yes. After all, at the age of 97, she is healthy, mobile, energetic, performs the most difficult exercises, and leads an active lifestyle. Joanna says that the main secret of her health and longevity is constant activity. Thanks to this, she doesn't use medicines and has completely forgotten what diseases are.
Wow. She doesn't use medicines and completely forgot what disease is like. As a 97-year-old woman, we should all be paying attention right now. How did she do it? I have an old face, she said.
Friends, in order to achieve such results, it is important to in her life.
She did some skydiving.
Her activity at 97 is higher than that of many 25-year-old men and women. She proved by her person.
Oh, she's way more agile than most people. Most people could never do that. If you think you could do it, try standing on your head. If you're over, 30, when was the last time you tried to stand on your head or stand on your hands? Try it now, and I bet you fall on your face the first time you try it. Okay?
Personal example.
That's hard to do.
That it's not about age, but about a person's desire. Joanna says.
It's not hard to do if you're 12 and 16. It's hard to do when you're 50.
Unfortunately.
Or 97.
I have an old face, but a young heart. Perhaps the day when I stop doing gymnastics.
Mikhail Sly says if she stopped, she'd be dead in a year. She said she'd be dead the same day. Huh. Listen. Here she says it. Watch. Unfortunately, I have an old face, but a young heart. Perhaps the day when I stop doing gymnastics will be the last day of my life, she says.
Will be the last day of my life.
There you go.
Jokes. Joanna gained great fame after several videos were posted on YouTube with recordings of her classes at the age of 86.
So what's the claim to fame here? Let's see. They got them numbered 7, right? So let's watch.
I have 7 rules that I never deviate from.
7 rules.
Friends,
7 rules.
Before we go to the list of rules, we ask you to like and leave a comment. So the 7 rules of Joanna Koss. First, I sleep at least 8 hours a day.
Sleep. Let's write them down. How does she do it? She sleeps at least 8 hours a day. No shenanigans. No. I got a lot of shit to do. I'm only gonna sleep 4 hours. None of that. 8 hours.
This is important for recovery. If possible, I also practice a short nap during the day.
And the nap. Let's take notes, right? So she sleeps 8 hours and takes a nap. So she sleeps maybe 8.5, 9 hours a day.
Second, I follow a plant-based diet.
Plant-based diet. Oh my God, she's a vegetarian. She's a vegan.
I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables.
She must be on the left. She's German. She's a lefty.
I don't overeat.
She sleeps 8 hours. That makes her on the right. But she eats fruits and vegetables and doesn't eat junk food. That makes her on the left. So she's right in the middle right now. We'll try to assess her political situation.
Don't eat junk food.
No junk food. No junk. No crap.
I drink a lot of water.
Drink water. Water. She said water. She sleeps. She eats organic plant-based food and drinks a lot of water. How about that? What else does she do?
The third, I do active bed gymnastics every day.
So she exercises all the fucking time. All the time. Right? She does in bed.
Right after waking up in the morning. This is useful for the preservation of joints. Then a jog. Fourth,
she jogs. She runs too. So she does extensive exercise in the morning and runs. That's before she even gets around to the gymnastics.
I train for 1 hour every day.
Train for 1 hour every day. Did she say she does it once in a while? Oh yeah, I'm a gymnast. On the weekend, on Sunday, I go down and I do some gymnastics. No. What did she say? She does it every day.
I continue to do gymnastics. It is a good preventive tool. I also like dancing and swimming. Fifth, to prevent mental aging and stimulate the brain, I practice special specific exercises, games, crosswords, puzzles, and so on.
Just so she stimulates the mind. I would say, in place of that, meditation. You can, meditation is a sum total of all those things. A powerful way to encompass, mental acuity, mental focus, and concentration and mindfulness. So she does a form of that through puzzles or whatever.
Six.
Six.
I am happy and enjoying life.
Happy and enjoying life. You remember when people were happy and enjoyed life? How do you do that? How could you possibly, I ask you, be happy when the story of January 6th is coming up again and you disagree with it? You can't be happy about that. Tucker Carlson is making you unhappy because he's playing the story over and over again, and I'm covering it. No, but you get my point, right? Happiness, right? Happiness is an inside job. You don't look and find happiness outside. You create it inside, and then it spills over into outside, right? It becomes your outside because it's coming from inside. Right? You're propagating happiness. That's how happiness works. You give it. You give it away. It's generosity. Right? I'm happy all the time. Right? People will say, well, you're happy because you're selfish and you only focus on yourself. No. My happiness is for you. It's the other way of viewing it. I'm not necessarily, I'm happy for my own happiness, but I know that if I'm happy, I'm in a better position to spread happiness, joy. But if I'm angry all the time and I'm violent and angry, like the guy we talked about yesterday, Alec Murdoch, who's sitting in jail for killing his wife and his kid. If you're angry and you're hostile and you're violent and you like guns, to shoot at your family, then that's what that'll be your life. Right? You'll start stealing from all your clients. You think everybody's after you. Right? On the other hand, if you can learn to generate your own happiness, find your own happiness. This is not mine. This is our 97-year-old yoga person.
It is very
yogi. She's a yogi.
Important to be a happy person. This simplifies everything a lot. Sometimes the right psycho-emotional state is even much more important than all these rules listed above. And finally, the seventh, to maintain the flexibility and elasticity of the muscles, as well as for the strength of the joints, I do stretching and strength exercises daily. So you don't need to go to a fitness center to do this. Mm-hmm. All exercises can be done at home.
All right. So, wow, we learned a lot from that lady, right? You learn from everybody. You see, like you learn from everybody. You say, well, what is the theory on aging? You say to yourself, how does one live a long time? What is the theory? What should I do? And the way you find out is you don't ask some 25-year-old doctor who spent the last 10 years in doctor school and medical school, or some lawyer. You listen to the people that did it. This lady's 97. What is her claim to fame? She said, sleep, exercise, drink water, focus on strengthening your mind, creating happiness, exercise all the time, not sometimes, all the time, strengthening muscle, right? Constant work. I mean, it is unfortunate. When you're 12 or 13, you don't have to do that. You just do it automatically. Think about it. A 12-year-old wakes up and you don't have to tell a 12-year-old to run down the block or play ball with the kid next door. They just do it. Right? It's us old people that forget to do it. We think like, oh, we don't have to do that anymore. That's for kids. No, it's not. That's the problem. It's not for kids. Right? You become the kid when you do it. There is no kid. There is no age. There is only, the moment. 97-year-old. So that's what I see when I watch this. So Orange says, was she a Nazi? I don't know, man. I don't know, because she's German. It makes her a Nazi. We can't listen to anything she says, man. Oh, let's look at the markets. And we're open, ding, bong, boom, bang. Flat. S&P 500 down 1 point. The Dow Jones down 3. That's flat. And the NASDAQ up 17. We'll take that instead of being down. Looks like we have a flat open at 9:57 a.m. New York time. Apple down 9 cents. Amazon up 60 cents. Google down up 13 cents. Facebook Meta up 3. Rivian got a little crushed. Down 10% to 1550 on bonds. They issued new bonds to raise more money, which puts more debt on the books for Rivian. So Rivian having some financial crises, down to 1549. I still think it's a buy. I think it's a long hold, 3 years, 5 years. Be maybe, up where Tesla is. Tesla before the split went up to 800, 900, 1,000. You could see that with Rivian over the years. And that's all I want to talk about. So thank you all for joining me. I'll see you guys tonight in the down 10. We'll see you guys tonight in the Dharma gathering. Thank you very much. It seemed like a tense subject. Relax now. Take a breath. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. We don't have to agree with each other, but we have to agree to not attack, right, each other, and be civil, be understanding, listen compassionately to people. I think that's one of the biggest problems in humanity right now, is that people like to talk. They love to talk. Everybody loves to talk. Everybody loves to talk, and because I'm talking, you need to listen to me. But people don't listen. Right? You learn a lot. You have a better time when you listen. You have a better time in life when you don't just come out of your head, but listen to what people are saying. And you can respond. You're actually reactive. You're living a reactive life where you're not quite. You learn that in the meditation. You're not quite navigating anything. You're just responding to what arises in the moment. So think about that while you're busy thinking. And I'll see you guys tonight at the Dharma gathering. Thank you all for joining me. Peace, everybody.